Hi. Hello. Iran has struck back. Iran has hit Israel. Iran launched missiles in Tel Aviv. At Tel Aviv, the Iron Dome stopped a couple of them, but a few of them pierced through. We've got footage. This is some crazy shit. Again, Iran has retaliated because Israel struck Iran first, preemptively, with this bullshit claim that Iran had this secret nuclear plan to build a nuke and hit Israel. Also, the Yemeni Houthis have also been launching ballistic missiles. American forces are in Israel intercepting these missiles. Things are escalating so fucking rapidly. And Israel said earlier, before Iran retaliated, Israel said, if Iran retaliates, we will kill the Ayatollah. That's what they said. They said, we know where you are. We just killed your right-hand man, salami lid, and we will take your shit out if you retaliate. Well, now, Iran has retaliated. And also, I want to point out one thing before we watch this footage. King Doland hasn't said diddly shit on his fucking private Twitter, Truth Social, in 9 fucking hours, okay? Or on Twitussy, okay? I think this guy... Also, don't fool yourself into thinking the Israelis did this without Trump's permission. Trump deadass Hundo P greenlighted this shit. He definitely fucking greenlighted this shit. But now he's got his dick in his hands because he said, I'm gonna end the wars on day one. I'm a peaceful dove. And motherfucker, World War III? Your birthday's tomorrow and you've got tanks, jets, helos, armored vehicles, strikers. You got 7,000 fucking soldiers in D.C. What the fuck? The optics, my boy. The optics from King Doland right now. Don't forget, I'm Chris Valenti. This is the Valenti VOD. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. I noticed a lot of you here are new. If you don't know who I am, I'm a douchebag from New York who majored in history and minored in political science. I wrote my fucking college thesis about the rise of fascism in Germany in the 1920s and 30s. And I really want to have a family, but I refuse to raise a family in a fucking fascist regime. There ain't nothing I hate more than a fucking fascist. Let's watch this video.
Iran launching...
Oh, and if you want to help the channel financially, because this is real independent media and I got no fucking funding, buy merch, become a patron, become a member, and use the 40% off discount code for the Vantage subscription on Ground News.
A massive aerial attack on Israel. The moment... And his Iranian missile struck Tel Aviv. 7 people were injured in that strike. The Israeli military saying that their entire nation is now under fire. The United States military is helping intercept Iran's missiles and drones, a source confirms to CNN.
Yeah, so Iran launched like 100 fucking drones at the Israelis. Because the Israelis fucking killed like 80 people, a couple of kids, bunch of civilians, bunch of military leaders, knocked out scientists, the fucking Ayatollah's right-hand man. I mean, Jesus Christ.
And at this hour, the Israeli Prime Minister is warning this isn't over.
More is on the way.
I'm willing to bet so much money. This is a green screen, and he's like 7 miles underground in a bunker under Jerusalem. I am so willing to bet fucking money he's in the goddamn Führer bunker right now.
The regime doesn't know what hit them. They don't know what will hit them. The nation of Iran and the nation of Israel have been true friends since the days of Cyrus the Great. And the time has come for you to unite around your flag and your historic legacy by standing up for your freedom from an evil and oppressive regime.
Welcome to our viewers in the United States and around the world. CNN is covering this breaking news from all angles across the globe. Oren Lieberman's live for us in Jerusalem. Jeremy Diamond is in New York. Fred Pleitgen standing by in Berlin. He actually just returned from Iran. Kristen Holmes is at the White House, and we're also going to be joined by Colonel Cedric Layton. Oren, I do want to start with you. You've been reporting throughout the night, occasionally from a bomb shelter. Take us through what's been unfolding in Israel and what you expect.
Well, we're now out of that bomb shelter, Casey, and back in our bureau here on the third floor in the building from which the CNN office operates here. And it is almost, looking back here behind me, a bizarre sight given how quiet it is late Friday night here in Jerusalem. That's because we spent much of the past hour and a half.
Thank you for the $5 donation, Rocky Lucid.
Or so in a bomb.
On a scale of 1 to totally fucked, where are we at right now? Like a 7? Like a 7. Because right now, let's be pragmatic for a second here. Right now, Israel is attacking Iran. Iran is attacking Israel. Yemen is attacking Israel. The United States is defending Israel. Things will hit 8 if any American is killed. If a single fucking American is killed by an Iranian, we're moving to 8. And then, God fucking forbid, if the Iranians strike the American aircraft carriers that we have intercepting their rockets, that's 8 to 9. That's 8 to 9. That's a hundo P. Even if it doesn't do damage, if they even attempt it, 8 to 9. And then I think 9 to 10 is if the United States launches our own missiles at Israel. At Iran. If we did that, that's 9 to 10. Could you imagine the first option?
Shelter in the basement when the Israeli military and Home Front Command warned of incoming Iranian ballistic missile fire, sending not only us here in Jerusalem and in Tel Aviv, but effectively all across the country into bomb shelters for just about an hour here, as 2 barrages of ballistic missiles, dozens of missiles in both cases, according to the Israeli military, were incoming. A short while ago, Israel's military spokesperson, Brigadier General Efi Defrin, said there were, in his words, less than 100 missiles fired. There were a few hits, meaning a few were able to penetrate Israel's air defenses, and there were obviously intercepts. We saw that play out in the skies over Tel Aviv and over central Israel, where not only is much of the population based, but there are also very significant military bases, the Ministry of Defense, Mossad headquarters in that area as well. And that's where we have seen Iran target in the past, and where it appears they tried to target once again. Some of those missiles intercepted by Israel's air defenses, and we saw shrapnel falling down on the
2
streets.
hits. By the way, bro, if a fucking medieval person saw this, if a ancient person saw that clip, they would think it was the gods having a battle in the sky. Look at this
But there are also
again.
very significant
Somebody
military
better
bases,
animate
the
this
Ministry of
shit.
Defense, Mossad headquarters in that area as well. And that's where we have seen Iran target in the past, and where it appears they tried to target once again. Some of those missiles intercepted by Israel's air defenses, and we saw shrapnel falling down on the streets of Tel Aviv, and in other places there were reports of damage to buildings, damage to some cars, and shrapnel all across the streets there. Crucially, the Israeli military spokesperson gave a warning that there may be more incoming rocket fire throughout the course of the night, and the population is instructed to stay near bomb shelters. Immediately when Israel began its attack
somebody give me a medieval orphan and let me show it that clip, bro. Let me show a medieval orphan that fucking clip.
Some 14, 15 hours ago or so at this point, roughly 3:30 in the morning last night, the first warning was that there may be an imminent retaliation. It took some time. It took more than 12 hours. But that retaliation, at least the beginning of it, we saw play out as we were ordered to go to bomb shelters over the course of the past hour.
No,
as you pointed out,
Obi-Wan's got a point. Isn't it crazy that the 2 most evil bastards in the Middle East are going to war while the most evil bastard in the West is going to celebrate his birthday with a giant authoritarian fucking military parade? Meanwhile, the most evil bastard in Europe is conquering Ukraine, and then, just to put the creme de la creme, just to put the fucking cherry on top, the most evil bastard in Asia is sitting there on his fucking bed, kicking his feet up, texting Xi Jinping, going, "Bro, are you seeing this shit? And Xi Jinping is going, I told you, bro, all you had to do was wait, and these dumb fucks will destroy themselves. What the fuck?
Israel's emergency responders, Magen David Adom, which is effectively the equivalent.
Meanwhile, Germany is building up its army. What?
The Red Cross locally say there were 7 injuries, 1 moderate, largely from shrapnel as a result of the incoming rocket fire. It is worth pointing out that it is still only in the first, give it an hour or so after the incoming rocket fire, so we'll wait to see if that number goes up. And again, crucially, there is an expectation that more may be coming. Israel had warned before now that the Iranian retaliation could be well beyond what we saw back in April or October, meaning more than 100 ballistic missiles, potentially drones as well. And we did see some drones launched earlier today, the vast majority of which were intercepted before they got to Israel's airspace. But
dude, tomorrow Aaron Parnas is going to be like, breaking news, 200 billion people are dead.
This may not be the end of it, and that works both ways. Israel expects may launch more ballistic missiles, potentially more drones. And Israel has warned, we heard Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu say it right at the top of the show, that Israel is also prepared to carry out more strikes in Tehran. After early this morning, they went after the Natanz nuclear enrichment facility, a number of targets throughout neighborhoods in Tehran, ballistic missiles, surface-to-air missiles, and decapitated much of
Brother,
Iran's...
did you just call Jesus McJesus like McDonald's? What do you, like, brother, I'm not even Christian, and that's gotta be blasphemous. That's gotta
military
be fucking
leadership
blasphemous.
and some of the top nuclear officials in the country. I will point out one more thing as we wait here. We have heard from U.S. officials that the U.S. helped intercept the incoming ballistic missile fire. The US
Sorry, could you repeat that real quick? Because I know we're going to brush over this, but...
I will point out one more thing as we wait here. We have heard from U.S. officials that the U.S. helped intercept the incoming ballistic missile fire.
Okay, so if the United States helped intercept the incoming ballistic missile fire from Iran, now put yourself in the shoes of the Iranians, right? Iranian leadership. You're going to go, okay, so that means that America is involved, and if we want our missiles to get in, we're going to have to get rid of those American interceptors. Doesn't that mean that you are kind of opening up American military members to be targets now? You're kind of like welcoming, like not welcoming, but you're like, hey, we're in it now. Like, I mean, McJesus Christ.
The U.S. made clear that Israel was acting at least offensively when it carried out these strikes on its own, but now that it comes to the defense of Israel, we are seeing U.S. troops get involved there, and that is likely U.S. THAAD batteries, terminal high-altitude area defenses that would work in cooperation with Israel's own air defenses to try to intercept what were 2 waves of Iranian attacks as the country braces for any more that might come, not only tonight, but in the coming days.
All right, Oren Lieberman, stand by for us. Thank you for that great reporting. And we should just note we are looking at live pictures right now on the ground from Tel Aviv. But I do want to bring in Kristen Holmes. She's live for us at the White House. Kristen, I understand you have new reporting.
Bro, isn't it crazy that there are millions of evangelicals who are probably cheering for this because they genuinely believe that at any moment the fucking sky is going to open up and Jesus Christ is going to come down with an M240 Bravo and lead a battle against the fucking Antichrist while those evangelicals get stripped naked and summoned up into the pearly gates of heaven, and the rest of us are gonna have to fight alongside Jesus Christ and his fucking army of angels against the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and Satan and the Antichrist, and brother, that, like, is this anime? Like, dude, the Bible is just fucking anime. That is anime shit.
On a call between President Trump and the Israeli Prime Minister?
Yeah, that's right. We were just learning that Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump spoke earlier today. No details of what exactly they talked about, but this comes after a U.S. official told me that, in fact, the U.S. is helping assist Israel with those incoming missiles. They noted to me that there are hundreds of thousands of American citizens that they feel they have to protect in Israel, as well as U.S. military assets. This is also coming after we learned that yesterday Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu were in constant contact, had multiple phone calls, including before those strikes on Iran. That was news given that we were told by a number of people that the U.S. was not involved. Now, the U.S. still says that they were not involved in the actual strikes, that Israel acted unilaterally. However, this communication timeline...
Currently, there's some breaking news that Israel is currently attacking Iran again. Israel attacks Iran again. Is it happening again? 5 minutes ago. Let me see the live updates. Do we have a live update? 8 minutes ago. Iran activates air defenses over Tehran to intercept another round of Israeli attacks. Tehran's air defense system is currently active following another round of Israeli attacks. Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency and state-affiliated Fars news agency reported in the early hours, so 14 minutes ago. The IAEA chief says Israeli strikes destroyed the above-ground enrichment plant of Iran's Natanz nuclear facility, or Natanz. That's what we were looking up and trying to see what the radiation levels are like in Iran right now. The radiological and chemical contamination inside of the Natanz facility. The contamination can be managed with appropriate message. Outside the facility, radioactivity is at a normal level. At a normal level? Brother, did you guys ever see that show Chernobyl where they're like, what does a Geiger counter say? They're like 6 Röntgens, and they're like, oh, not bad, not too good. And then it turns out their fucking meters don't work. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. They don't have enough information regarding military activity at those locations. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Hey, this is Oren Lieberman coming to you from a bomb shelter in Jerusalem where we have spent, frankly, much of the past hour since the Israeli military and Israel's Home Front Command gave the order that they were incoming Iranian bomb shelter in Jerusalem where we have spent, frankly, much of the past hour since the Israeli military and Israel's Home Front Command gave the order that they were incoming Iranian ballistic missiles and ordered not only Jerusalem here, but also pretty much the entire country and major population centers in northern, central, and southern Israel into bomb shelters ahead of those incoming ballistic missiles.
All right. Iran retaliates with missile attacks. Yeah, we know that. Anything new?
The Israeli government is saying that it is okay to leave protected areas, but as we know from the last 24 hours, things could change very quickly.
And Ione, we've just heard many calls from countries at the UN Security Council for calm, for de-escalation, for a return to diplomacy. What have we heard from the Israeli Prime Minister?
The U.S. already jumped in, lowlife. We're already involved.
The latest statement we've had from the Israeli Prime Minister has been essentially a call to the people of Iran to rise up against their government. He has described the attacks that Israel carried out last night on Iran as not just an attack on their nuclear capacity, but also on the regime itself in Iran, calling on the Iranian people to essentially
How are we involved?
Join.
American officials have already confirmed that American defense units have intercepted Iranian missiles. We have been shooting down Iranian missiles. American forces are already involved.
Israel's efforts to overthrow the government. And I think this is a sort of symbolic moment because it seems to suggest what others have been speculating here, that this isn't, as I say, just about necessarily targeting the nuclear capacity in Iran, but also the leadership itself. But more widely as well today, we have heard continued statements from both the Israeli government and also the Iranians as well, saying that they plan to continue attacks on one another. So despite what you've mentioned there, these diplomatic talks that have been happening, other nations urging for restraint, that certainly doesn't seem to be the rhetoric coming from leaders in the region here.
Okay, Ione Wells there in Jerusalem. Thank you very much.
Controversial opinion, but like, fuck Iran's government, fuck Israel's government. I don't think either of those governments are fit to lead. I think we need to just replace them both. Controversial opinion, I think they both fucking suck.
for that. Well, the White House has confirmed that US President Donald Trump has spoken with his Israeli counterpart, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and we also understand that the American military assisted Israel in shooting down Iran's missiles and drones that were sent today in retaliation. The attacks come, of course, as the US and Iran have been engaged in negotiations to reach a deal on Tehran's nuclear program. Those talks are due to resume over the weekend, but Iran has now pulled out of Sunday's meeting in Oman in the wake of Israel's attack. President Donald Trump is urging Iran still to make a deal, writing on social media that even more brutal attacks are planned if Tehran does not. Well, let's go now to the White House and speak to our chief North America correspondent, Gary O'Donoghue. Gary, we've seen and heard very little from President Trump today. What do we know about
if I say
what
something right now? So I'm just going to close that tab. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, and King Doland is still yet to say anything. And for 9 hours, King Doland hasn't said a goddamn word. All right, listen, if you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, I'm going to call it here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. If you're watching this live, you stay. We're going to keep on going. One last thing, if you're pre-record, click that video right there. I promise it's a banger, and I know bangers.